In Germany, a place called Osnabrück, Friedstadt. That means a peaceful place. I love the summer. I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna take you for a short holiday. You know, this Corona, I love reminding myself what I did back home, and because I'm not gonna make it to go home, so I decided to go back to the culture. I loved going picking firewood. That was my hobby. Though it was like we needed firewood, but I was an expert. I'm gonna show you. This is a rope, and now this rope it will support you carry or transport the firewood. You take these steps when you want to tie. Just pick the rope, take that. This, for those who don't know, I know most Kenyans know about it, but this is for those who are interested in learning our culture. And you make a knot. That's the start, and you just press it so that the firewood doesn't fall. And then you continue to the other side. And after I finish here, it's storytelling today. I'm gonna take you to our hut that we have prepared because I'm gonna sit with the kids and tell them old stories I learned from my parents or from my grandmother and my grandfather. So that's all about it. And the other thing you have to take like this and put on your back, carry your firewood. That's how it looks. Simple here. Oh. Jacket that. Can you see that, Timmy?
9.
No? 9?
9.
So that's how it's gonna be. And this is our fireplace. I had already done the fire and doing maize corn.
Hadithi. Jambo nyote, habari gani? Mzuri sana. Watoto wakaribishwa. Hadithi njoo. Jambo nyote, habari gani? Mzuri sana. Watoto wakaribishwa. Hadithi njoo. Hadithi njoo kwa.
Today we are learning about the history of Africa, following Avi and Kumbi, and I will be reading you a book of children's African history. This is written by Kizem Wamazambezi, and the illustrations are done by Sanelisi Wesinda. Are you ready to hear about the history of Africa?
Yes.
Yeah. The story of all the people in the world began in Africa. Where did it begin? In Africa. It began a very, very long time ago. Before there were villages and towns, human beings lived in small families in the forests, grassy savannas, and along the oceans of Africa. These small families walked and lived everywhere in Africa, so long as there was food and shelter. About 80,000 years ago, some of the human families left Africa and spread themselves across all over the world. We know about the things that happened long ago because we can study rocks, bones, tools, and seashells that the human families used and left behind. We call these old objects artifacts, and we study them by doing archaeology. Early families in Africa lived by gathering and hunting for their food. They collected roots, fruits, plants, shellfish, insects, and hunted big and small animals. They were very good at using bones and stones to to make tools such as axes, knives, and spears, which they used to hunt, fish, and prepare food. They also taught themselves how to make better stone tools with fire. Fishing in old ways of life in Africa, families teaching children now to make spears and baskets, nets and traps to catch the fish. After many thousand years of living only by gathering plants and hunting wild animals, people around the world began to keep their own animals. In Africa, this started about 8,000 years ago in North and East Africa. Keeping animals meant that people did not always have to hunt for meat. Africans also began to live with dogs several thousand years ago. Humans needed dogs for hunting, security, and friendship, and these dogs helped humans to protect their livestock. When people started keeping livestock, they began to count who had more and who had fewer animals. If you had a lot of animals, people thought you were as wealthy as no one else. In many parts of Africa, cattle became the most important animal for measuring a person's wealth. Some of these most famous African cattle breeds are Abiga cattle. You find these in East Africa, which have large horns like this one, but those horns are much bigger. And you have in the south, where I come from, the Nguni cattle, and these ones have beautiful spotted patterns. And before we stop our story and reading, I will read you a little bit about the farming and the beginning of farming in Egypt. About 12,000 years ago, human beings started farming their own plants and crops in a place called Mesopotamia in the Middle East. When you plant crops, you have to live in one place so that you can watch over these crops growing. This is how villages started. In Africa, people first started planting crops on the banks of the Nile River in Egypt 5,000 years ago. As the Sahara Desert became hotter and drier, people began to build villages along the Nile River. The Nile River provided a reliable source of water and good fertile soil to grow plants. That is it for today. We were following Avi and Kumbi to teach us about the history of Africa for kids. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That was very, very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you want us to repeat this again? Want us to do it again?
Yeah?